Michael Burry is predicting the biggest collapse to ever occur. The latest consumer price index report was just released at 9.1%. Everyone knows that the Fed messed up, was wrong about inflation, and printed way too much money, adding over $5 trillion to their balance sheet. Prices have been soaring for the last year. And because of this, the media is pushing down a possible 100% basis point rate hike by the Federal Reserve. And while the Feds will more likely remain aggressive, Burry doesn't believe that inflation is going to remain elevated in the short term. And right now, as the Feds go through quantitative tightening, this means they're pulling back trillions of dollars and more or less prices will continue downwards. Over the last month, we've actually seen food, energy, and commodity costs actually reduce in value. At the end of June, we started to see rent decline. Now this is because Biden has been in talks with China with tariffs and sanctions, and is even now planning to go over to Saudi Arabia to discuss oil. All at the same time, supply chains actually catching up to demand. And this is what we've seen created today, which is known as a supply panic. With wholesale inventories increasing massively in June, up 24%. Consumer sentiment is actually on a massive decline. And because of this, Burry tweeted out what brings a Christmas in July. A deflationary, overstocked consumer recession at Christmas. Which what he referred to as a supply glut is where stores have way too much inventory and no demand for the consumer. So they have to start offloading their inventory at lower costs. And what he means by this is that at a retail level is the bullwhip effect. Worth understanding for your investing endeavors, deflationary pulses from this, disinflation in CPI later this year, to Fed reverses itself on rates and QT, and a continuous cycle. And this is why we are already seeing disinflation take place in July, with gas, rent, and food. Lastly, Burry stated that transitory no, peak no, to the moon if you mean a cold, dark place. The CPI news this morning was so awful that it changed the bond market's view of Fed trajectory. And the weakest sector broke. In bond jargon, mortgage-backed securities went no bid. No buyers for MBS. The problem with this is that inflation is currently so high that there is no bids for mortgage-backed securities, which shows us that inflation is likely here to stay. So to sum up, Burry believes that we are not going to be going anywhere until everybody swears that they will never own an NFT, they will never own crypto, and they will never own a technology stock. And while he believes a relief could be coming soon, it's something investors should not be all pumped up about, as markets have still not found their true bottom.